I am Jersey City boxing fan. I'm not an expert. I'm just a fan, and I am so excited about today's video. Last night I got to talk to Hall of Fame boxer, two-time world champion and lineal champion, James Buddy McGirt. Yep, that's right. He was gracious enough to talk to me for about 35 minutes. We talked about his career, boxing in general, training, and also what I'm most happy about is a Jersey City connection, which is, he trained in Jersey City for many years, and he talks about Jersey City, the Proudest Gym, and even we delve into Jersey City cuisine. So enjoy the video. I'm just going to let it play. And at the end, I might try to show some pictures of the things we talked about. Thank you. And thanks for
I just
watching
want
my
to say
channel.
again, it's an honor talking to you. Thank you so much for saying you do this with me. And I have extreme respect for you, for your career as a boxer, as a trainer. And thank you so much. So my first question to you is that, I know you're from Long Island originally, right? But you have a lot of Jersey ties, like a ton of Jersey ties.
Yeah.
So if it's okay, I want to talk about your first fight. I'm not sure if you remember much about it. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I looked on BoxRec, March 2nd,
1982, Embassy Hall. It was on a Tuesday night. I went to school that morning. After school, jumped in the car, went to North Bergen, and fought my first fight against Lamont Hayes' coach and got a 4-round draw.
Wow. Okay. And it's interesting. I don't know if you know this. I was looking on BoxRec at Embassy Hall, and your first fight was there, and I think in your 7th fight you fought there, and they never had boxing after that. You were like there the last night they had boxing at this place.
Wow. That was against Dave. I fought a kid named Davey Bolden there.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. It was right around Christmas time, I believe, of '83.
Right. Yeah. It was actually, I looked at it, was like December 30th, 82, if I'm not mistaken, like right before it turned 83. Unless BoxRec is wrong, who knows? I'm going by that.
Right.
But
Okay.
it's funny. I looked up. The building is still there, but it's like a FedEx building now. It's a FedEx shop, but the facade is still there. But
they had a lot of good fights there.
Yeah, it seems so. I never knew about that. I'm from Jersey City originally, and by the time I'm going to be 50 this year, but by the time I was kind of, in my teens and in my 20s, there wasn't a lot in Jersey City going on. But before my time, there was a ton. And before that, there was.
Right.
Question I have for you. So, I know you fought at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. And I'm just curious what that was like, because I used to watch Tuesday night fights, and it looked like a rough place to go fight.
No, the Spectrum wasn't rough. The rough place was the Blue Horizon.
Right.
And that's where they should do a lot of shows, the Blue Horizon on Tuesday night fights. But I never fought on the Blue Horizon. I've been to fights there, but I never fought there.
Gotcha. Okay. Very cool. All right, so I'm going to ask you, I saw, like, you the first time you fought Frankie Warren, it was a really close fight. I mean, one judge had it by 1 point difference, right? So, right. My question is, right after that fight, you fought Sal Mombi, right? So I was looking at him. I remember him from the day. He fought Glenwood Brown. He fought Esteban de Jesus. He fought Roberto Duran and went the distance. What was it like losing that really close fight to Frankie Warren, and then in your very next fight, fighting Sal Mombi? What was it like in that fight?
Well, it's funny. After I lost to Frankie Warren, everybody around me was upset. They were crying, family and everybody. Managers were mad. But I walked from the arena to the hotel. When I got to the hotel, I put the loss behind me. And I told my manager, I'm like, you got to give me another fight. And he's like, are you crazy? I'm like, no, I'm not crazy. I says, I need another fight, and I need it ASAP. So now I fought Frankie Warren in July, and then I fought Sal Mombi in September. So I got right back at it.
Right.
And I believe that Frankie Warren, the Sal Mombi fight was the fight that was the turnaround fight of my career. That made me really understand that, hey, I'm going to be a world champion.
Right. I could see that, definitely. I mean, that's a big, I feel like back-to-back fights. That's a statement on your part to go in there and beat Salamambi. So when you actually fought Frankie Warren again, if I'm not mistaken, it was for the title, right? For the super lightweight title.
Yes,
My
sir.
main question there is, when you won that fight, did you feel better? Were you happier to avenge your first loss against Frankie Warren or to get the title?
More to get the title. I didn't, to be honest, I was in such a zone in that fight that the reality of it didn't hit me till like maybe 2 weeks after.
Wow.
Because I needed, I had, I was in a position in my career where it was do or die, and there was a lot of people who doubted me. So I had put in my mind that night nobody was going to stop me. I didn't care what it was. We was fighting him in his hometown. They tried everything possible to make it uncomfortable for me. The last week of the fight, when I was taking my eye test, the doctor kept diluting my eyes. It was like 3 days before the fight. And he says, listen, there's something wrong with your eyes, but you'll be all right for the fight. Just be careful. We don't want you to get a serious injury. I'm saying to myself, if it's that serious, you wouldn't let me fight.
Right.
Because if you let me fight and God forbid something happen, I can sue. So I'm like, you guys just want to play mind games, but I wasn't buying it that night.
Wow. So that's amazing. I never heard that before. They were trying to make you question yourself and get scared about what's going to happen. Wow.
Yes.
Really, really interesting. When you fought Simon Brown in 1991, if I'm not mistaken, he'd only lost to Marlon Starling. So when you fought him, at the time, Simon Brown was considered like one of the best pound for pound, including yourself. My question is, you beat Simon Brown with such a strong performance. Did you have any difficulties in that fight, or was it just dominant? It seemed dominant at the time.
Again, I was in that zone.
Right.
Those two fights, I can say that I went into a zone where it took me a week or two afterwards to really come down and understand what I had just accomplished, because it was both like the Simon Brown fight was coming after my injury, and a lot of people said I wouldn't fight again. A lot of people said I couldn't beat him. I was a 10-1 underdog, so all the odds were against me.
Right.
And I said to myself, it's not happening tonight. That night, I said to myself, I'm ready to take on anybody in any weight class that night.
Wow.
That was that one night that I would have beat anybody.
No matter who was in front of you, right?
No matter who's in front of me.
So that shows you mentally, it's like mentally you think it's more mental sometimes than physical, right? Or a lot of times more mental.
Oh, man, listen, 10 days before the fight, I got sick. So I had to go to the doctor, get a shot in the butt, and stay in bed for 3 days.
Right.
I couldn't run. I couldn't train. I couldn't do nothing. And I was losing my mind in the hotel room because I was always conscious of my weight, even though I didn't have a weight problem. I was just always conscious of it. And so after the first day, the next day, my manager was like, don't run. I said, I can't. Doctor told me not to run. But what I did was I got up at 5 a.m, put the steam on in my bathroom, put on a sauna suit and a shadow box for like 5-6 rounds, worked up a good sweat, took a shower, got back in bed like nothing happened.
That's cool. That's really cool. When you fought in the 80s and the 90s, you were fighting in the lightweight, super lightweight division and welterweight division. And looking back at all the people at that time, it was a strong lightweight and welterweight division at the time. Do you agree that was a particularly strong time for those weight classes?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Just that, like, at that time when you were fighting in the 80s and 90s, the welterweight and lightweight, super lightweight and welterweight, they were strong. It was a strong division, in my opinion. You had like Simon Brown, like Glenwood Brown, Maurice Blocker, a lot of people.
There was no easy fights.
Right.
There was, everybody was a beast. So you had to be a double beast in order to maintain and stay on top.
Wow.
And so, it was fun. I love it. I loved it. I still love it. I miss it, but I don't miss getting hit. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I don't look at boxing like I used to anymore, because you very rarely get the best fighting the best right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think boxing needs more of the best fighting the best. You get it every now and then, but back in the 80s and early 90s, you had no choice. If you
Right.
didn't fight the best, then they'd be like, okay, we're going to go to somebody else.
Gotcha.
Now, it's Mike Tyson said it best. Fighters today are businessmen. It's more of a business. And I'm not mad at them for making it a business, but at the same time, to be called great or one of the best, you got to fight the best.
True.
You got to fight the best. You got to step up to that plate, man, and be like, yo, I'm going to fight this guy. Okay, I wanted $20, but they only give me $17. But I got to show that I'm the best. They don't think like that today.
Right.
You know what I mean? They
More
say,
like a
okay,
business.
I want $20 and I'm not taking a penny less. And they
Right.
keep fighting and struggling until they get that $20. And to me, that takes the fun out of it. That
Right.
takes the intrigue out of it. That makes me say, you know what, I don't even want to pay to see the fight. And I won't.
Wow. And in your days, you think it was more about pride, about being the best.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You wanted to be called. You wanted to be known as the best. You didn't. And back then, the promoters, they didn't give you a chance to say, okay, give me a week to think about it. The promoter will call your manager and say, do you want to fight? And the manager said, let me think about it. Promoter will hang out with you, call somebody else.
Wow. So it was just
While
right
you're
away.
thinking about it, they calling somebody else to take the fight.
So you had to jump. You had to take it right away.
And they're going to take it cheaper.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? So if they could skim some off the top, they did it. But they made good fights.
Right.
You know what I mean? Today, if you call a fighter and say, we're going to offer you this fight, I want more. Now you're going back and forth in negotiations. But back in the day, they're like, look, man, no, you don't want it? No problem. I'll find somebody else that does want it.
Right.
That's how, I once was, I went to training camp once. I'll never forget. I got there on a Saturday. I set up camp. I got to see Caucus. And I was scheduled to fight in September. And I went to the movies that night, came from the movies, and Al called me. He goes, hey, kid, there's a break in the card next week. I said, yeah, where? He goes, at the Garden. Now, that morning, I had read an article about a kid, Gary Jacobs, from Scotland. And he goes, Edwin Rosario, God bless his soul, something happened, so the fight's off, so they need someone to fight this kid, Gary Jacobs. I said, okay, when is the fight? He goes, next Sunday. I said, okay, today's Saturday. I said, I'll meet you in the gym tomorrow, and we'll spar all week. So he goes, are you crazy? I said, how much are they paying now? He said, $50,000. I said, you're going to turn down $50,000 in a week? Are you crazy? Meanwhile, we fight in 5 weeks for $15,000. That don't make any sense. That's bad math.
Right.
So he said, you sure? I'm like, I'll see you in the morning at the gym. So I sparred from that Sunday to that Friday. I sparred every day. Saturday was the weigh-in. All I asked him to do was make the contract 148. Saturday was the weigh-in. Sunday I fought, won the fight, and went home. Easiest $50,000 I ever made. You couldn't pay none of these fighters to do that today.
They wouldn't do it. No.
Wow. That's amazing. That's a great story. Okay, that's so
I know.
cool.
I'm going to beat this guy. Al. He goes, what do you mean? I said, Al, the guy's never fought out of Scotland.
Right.
We fighting in New York at the Garden at my home. It's a Sunday afternoon, and I'm getting 50 stacks.
You're like, there's no question about it, right? You got to do it.
Exactly.
So,
Anything understood don't have to be explained.
exactly. So you fought some people you fought: Meldrick Taylor, Pernell Whitaker, Simon Brown, Livingstone Bramble. Out of everyone you fought, who would you say was the most skilled boxer and who had the hardest punch?
The most skill was Pernell.
Pernell, amazing. And God rest him. And that's
The smartest, Sal Mamby.
Really
Smartest. Hardest puncher was a kid named Vincent Relaford.
Really? I actually never heard of that boxer. Wow.
Listen, when this guy hit me with a body shot, I thought I got stabbed.
Wow. That hard. That's amazing.
Yeah, he could punch.
Wow.
When he hit me, I felt it.
You felt it more than anybody else. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing. One thing I was to say is we mentioned before Jersey Connections. So you trained at Bufano's gym. That's correct, in Jersey City?
Yes, sir. Before that, I trained at the Hoboken Gym. You should be on Washington Avenue.
Okay.
In Hoboken, and it was upstairs above a furniture store.
Okay.
And I trained there from April of 1982 till I think November, December of '82.
Wow.
And they closed the gym, and then we went to Bufano's. And Bufano's, let me tell you, that place should be a landmark.
Yeah, it's not there anymore. It's shut down. So when I was a kid, and like I say, I'm going to be 50. In my, being young up to my teens, it was still there, but it was just kind of like this old rickety looking kind of, right? It was on the corner, if I'm not mistaken. That's one of the. I can't wait to get your opinion about this because there's not a lot online about Bufano's.
It's on the corner of Beacon and Oakland, 75 Beacon Avenue.
That's right. What was it like inside? Like what can you say about it?
Bufano's gym. I put it to you like this. Today, the health department would have closed it down.
Is that bad?
But, I'm going to honestly tell you, I trained at that gym for 12 years.
Wow. Okay. I did not know that.
And I only lost one fight training at that gym.
Wow. That's a good luck. Then it was your good luck place. That's cool.
No, 2 fights. I'm sorry, 2 fights. But for 12 years I trained there. Don Bufano is a legend in my eyes because he was in his 80s and he used to drive to the gym every day.
Wow.
And then when he started getting Alzheimer's, I'll never forget, he tried to go through the Holland Tunnel.
Oh, man. He just
they got him, and then the next day he was at the gym. I said, Don, what happened? He goes, Buds, baby. He goes, those cocksuckers try to charge me $4 because I never paid $4 in my life to go to the gym.
That's awesome. Oh, my God.
I mean, I loved him. And if he got mad at you, he'd kick you out of his gym.
Really? Okay.
Don would tell you to get the hell out in a minute. I mean, he kicked my manager out 100 times. But I says, hey, Dom, I'm going to buy you lunch. He'd be like, Buds, baby, you got it. And Dom had no teeth. But there was a store down the street, and he loved the Meatball Heroes.
Okay.
So we get him a Meatball Hero. And I would take Dom maybe 3 hours to eat that Mamma Jamma. But he ate it. And I mean, I loved him. I really loved him. He was there, 84, 85, the blizzards. Dom was at that gym every day.
Dedicated. Just that was his life. That's amazing.
That gym was, and then when they had a fire in 1989, 90, I said, we got to fix this place up for Dom. We can't let this place go.
Right.
And one day a reporter was doing a story, and my manager, I was crazy. He said, Wyatt Earp trained here. He used to park his horse outside.
That is so cool. That's another question. What was it like working with Al Sardar? Like how was that relationship?
God bless him. He was crazy. But I learned so much from him. And today, here's the crazy part. Today, when I'm around fighters, I don't get involved in the managerial stuff. But I see the bullshit.
Right.
And the managers see that I see the bullshit. So then their job now is to get me away from the fight. They get to fight another trainer. So I'm not going to say anything. I'm minding my business.
Right.
But I look at them like, are you really going to do this to this kid? And they look at me like, damn, buddy knows. I'm like, everything, 99.99999% of shit Al told me.
Wow.
Was true.
That's amazing.
He exposed a lot of people. It hurt me in my career as a fighter. I'm not going to lie to you. But he always put it in the open. He would put you on blast. Like, he wouldn't make it today.
Really? No. Okay.
He'd be banned today. It was 3 guys. Him, Patty Flood, Al Braverman. God bless them all.
Right.
They wouldn't have made it today. Because they were no-nonsense guys. And they would put you on blast.
Wow.
They didn't give a shit if they hurt your feelings or not.
Right.
But
sometimes that's better for honesty. It's good when someone's honest with you. Yeah.
They would expose you, and if you ain't like it, hey, tough shit. But they was gonna put you out. They was gonna put you out there.
Wow.
But they would respect it.
Right. No, sure.
And
I even read similar to that. I read recently that like Marvin Hagler being with the Petronellis kind of hurt him in his career too, because they wouldn't kind of go along or like work with the people well, and that hurt him possibly too early on, like not later, but early on.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it, our stuff out there hurt me. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Right.
But as I got older and started getting into the game more as a trainer, I just see stuff and I hear stuff like some of these managers tell the fighters. I'm looking at the manager like, I can't believe you just told him that.
Right, right.
But I don't say nothing. You know what I mean? I don't want to be the bad guy.
No, exactly. That makes sense. That makes sense.
But I sit back and I say, damn, everything Al said is so damn true. I mean, and the bullshit that they try to have, like they try to come to me with it, and I look at them and say, listen, man, I'm not buying that.
Right. No, that makes sense.
It's all bull.
Right, right.
You know so
yeah, sorry. Oh no, I was gonna say, as you transitioned, like to go along with what you're kind of saying, as you transition from boxer to trainer, what would you say, like having boxed and having had such a successful career, like what from that did you bring to training that maybe other people didn't? Like, what did you bring to training that you kind of thought, I learned this in my career, I'm gonna bring this to the boxers I train now?
I've learned that one, you got to study your fighter. You got to know your fighter. You got to know him well, not just mentally, physically, emotionally, everywhere possible. You got to be able to look at your fighter and say, you know what, today's not his day.
Right.
I mean, I had a guy sparring the other day, and I'm like, yo, that's it. He goes, buddy, no, that's it.
Right.
Oh, I was just getting in my groove. I mean, yeah, but that's a groove you don't want to get in because you're just getting hit with everything.
Right.
And everyone's like, well, he only got 2 more rounds. I'm like, you know what? Tomorrow's another day.
Start again tomorrow, right? That makes
It's
sense.
just sparring, so I'm not gonna. No, tomorrow's another day. I gave him that next day off, and the following day he did better. He was like, "Your buddy, thank you." You got to know. A lot of guys don't know what they think they know what they're looking at,
Right.
but they don't know because they haven't been there. You understand? I mean, I'm a believer that if you haven't been in the trenches, how can you tell somebody else what to do in the trenches if you haven't been there?
Right.
I mean, to me, in a fight, sometimes a fighter's coming to you looking for stuff that you didn't work on in training camp. You got to know what to say to that guy. You know what I mean? They're looking at you for all the answers right now. Right now, you're their father, they're everything. So if you have no answers, you're in trouble.
Right.
That's why a lot of these guys make me laugh, you know what I mean? I mean, it's like, yo, you know, fight ain't got time for all the other BS. How's he going to handle this situation here? And then some of these guys, they've never been there.
Right.
It's the only thing that I've never had done to me in boxing is someone count 10 over me. I've been knocked down. Yes, I got stopped, but no one ever counted 10 over me.
That shows your toughness, your mental,
But I've been in situations in a fight where I'll be like, God damn.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine.
I fought 6.5 rounds, not knowing where I was.
Really? Wow.
I mean, I got knocked down. I got knocked down in the 2nd round, and I don't remember anything till the 9th round.
Oh man! Wow.
I won the fight.
That's incredible.
I was fighting off instinct. Yeah, and it was in my head. I'm in a fight, but I don't know who I'm fighting. I don't know where I'm fighting. But this is no lie. I just bought myself a new truck right before the fight. I said, but if I lose this fight, they're going to take my truck from me.
So the whole time you're thinking about your truck.
Yeah. So in the 9th round, my manager said, keep doing what you're doing. Al said, keep doing what you're doing. I said, okay, what the fuck was I doing? He said, keep boxing him. So I went out and I boxed the guy, the 9th and 10th round.
Right.
I came out of it. But from the time I got knocked down, I was dead and stinking.
Right.
I was fighting off instinct.
Sure. Wow. That's incredible.
I mean, then you're in a fight, I ruptured my bicep tendon in a fight once. I was to throw an uppercut, my bicep tendon snapped from the bone.
Wow.
I had to fight 6 more rounds with that one arm.
Oh my God.
I won the fight. I fought an undefeated guy from Colombia who was like 6'1", 6'2", who was trying to kill me in that.
And you have one
But
arm. Amazing.
yes, my left arm. I didn't know my bicep tendon was ruptured. I
Right.
thought I had like a Charlie horse. I was like, damn, this Charlie horse won't leave me. I'm telling my manager to rub it. He's rubbing it, but after
Wasn't
the
working.
fight, the doctor's like, you ruptured your bicep. I'm like, what are you talking about? That's your bicep. Because my bicep rolled up. You know, it
Right.
snapped from the bone on the bottom and it rolled up. Like my
Oh,
bicep was up on my shoulder.
jeez. That's
So I'm like,
very
you know,
tough.
so if you haven't been in certain situations, you can't tell. Like I've watched Rambo 100 times. I can't tell nobody how to survive in the jungle. Rambo can't even tell nobody how to survive in the jungle. And he
Right.
played the part.
Exactly. True.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So, but a lot of people don't get it. They don't
Right.
get it, man. You know what I mean? And I say, you know, if you've never been there, you might can talk about it, but if it gets deep, how
Right.
you gonna tell them how to handle it? How you gonna tell them to get out of that situation?
Nah, I don't think you can. You're right, unless you've been there. Yeah, I just have a couple more questions, but I watched a video recently where like Julio Cesar Chavez was kind of saying that the boxers nowadays would have a real difficult time with the boxers of your era. Do you agree with that, or you think that
Yeah,
that it's the same? It's not true.
it's true.
It
I
is.
agree with them 150% because we were soldiers, man. See, we stayed in the gym every day. Even if we didn't have a fight, we was in the gym. We stayed ready, so we didn't have to get ready. That's why I was able to take that fight on a week's notice. I mean, and we fought 15 rounds.
Right.
And we didn't have strength and conditioning coaches.
Right.
And we had the weigh-ins the day of the fight.
All right. Wow.
So we had all these things. And everyone, you know what I mean, wanted to switch the rules, say for the safety of the fighter. No, it's not for the – I don't believe it because, first of all, we don't fight at our natural weights anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But now if you're giving a fight an extra day to make weight, he's going to go a little bit lower. And what they do now, they have these people now put IVs in fighters right after the weigh-in.
Really? Wow.
Oh, yes. They get IVs and they get rejuvenated.
Okay. And that
That's
didn't
what's
happen
happening,
back then,
man.
right?
That's what's happening. They're getting them IVs, man, and they go straight to their room and they get an IV and shit. I mean, then they get an IV before the fight and they put on 10, 12 pounds.
Man. Yeah. So it's a big difference from back then and now. I mean, that's
Yes.
so. All right. My last kind of question to you is, what would be your proudest moment as a fighter? What would be your proudest moment as a trainer, if you don't mind telling me that?
Honestly, every day.
Just what
Every
you
day
do.
being a fighter. Every day. You know, I sit and think of those days, man. I used to travel to Proudest Gym from Long Island every day. It's taking me 2.5, 3 hours to get there. And there was a newsstand in Proudest Gym that sold these oatmeal raisin cookies. No, not in Proudest, I'm sorry. That was in Journal Square train station.
Yep.
They served these oatmeal raisin cookies that was so good, man, that I actually get my weight down real early so I could get a cookie. And they were I used to buy them so much that after a while the people that worked there just when I walk by they just hand it to me like a newspaper. I say, "Good luck in your fight, buddy." You know what I mean? And
That's hilarious. Wow.
I love that oatmeal raisin cookie. And then I used to have to walk from Journal Square to Bafano's.
Oh, I know that walk very well. Yeah, sure. Yep.
So rain, sleet, or snow.
You're going there. Wow.
I mean, and I used to pass there was a jail.
Yeah, right. In Journal Square, right. I know
Yes.
exactly.
The inmates used to be yelling out the window at me. Buddy McGirt, what's up, Buddy McGirt? And I'd be waiting.
No, they'd be at the top yelling down at you and stuff. I
Yes.
remember that totally. Yeah.
Yes. I should take the back streets, man, to get to the gym.
Yeah.
And one time, man, I fought in Madison Square Garden. Dominic, I fought on a Thursday. Dominic said, "I'll see you Tuesday." I said, "Okay." I got on. I took the 2.5-hour trek all the way to Jersey, and all he did was make me shadow box 6 rounds.
Wow.
And he told me to go home. I looked at him. I didn't say anything, but I said to myself, I could have did this shit at home. But
You're making a long trip and you could have just stayed home and did it. All right.
And then I used to then once a week I used to catch the bus from Journal Square to Sea Caucus, have dinner at Al's restaurant, and then he'd give me $50. Then he'd take me back to the PAF station. I used to do that once a week.
Wow.
I mean, I had to stretch those $50.
I'm sure. Yeah, definitely.
Man, I remember all those days, man. Being stuck in the PAF train in the summertime
Yeah.
between 33rd Street and Hoboken. Oh my God. 900 degrees outside, man, and you stuck under that. Be like, Jesus.
I didn't know that. See, I didn't realize you were traveling to train here. I thought
Oh,
you
yeah.
lived here all the time.
Nah, man, I used to take the Long Island Railroad to Penn
That's a
Station.
hike. Wow.
It's taking me 2.5 to 3 hours a day.
Jeez. Yeah, I thought you lived here in Jersey at the time. Wow.
Nah, I used to take the train from Brentwood to Jamaica, switch at Jamaica for the train to Penn Station, get out, walk down to the PAF train, take the PAF train to Journal Square, and then walk from Journal Square to Bafano's every day.
Wow. Jeez.
I did that for 6 years.
Wow. That's amazing. That's like the commitment. So it sounds like what you're saying is that what's your proudest moment of training or boxing? It's just everything, the love of it. You seem to just love it. You're still doing it. So it's not something that's ever gone away from you.
No, and I met a lot of people in Jersey City on the trains and in the Journal Square, and I mean, so it was an experience. I can't really. It's fun. I was thinking about that this morning. Like, damn, I remember I used to take those trips, man. It'd be snowing like crazy, and I'm on the train going to Jersey, and it's 1 in the afternoon, and the snow's coming down like crazy. I'm like, I got to deal with this shit when I get back.
Yeah. I'm proud, man. I'm Jersey City born and bred, and I love the place. It's always actually even now like considered like very multicultural, and it was a great place to grow up. I grew up right by Bafano's. I grew up on Hutton Street, like kind of by Persian Field. I don't know if you know where that is, but it's right by. It's about like a quarter mile from Bafano's in the Heights.
Okay, I have a question for you now.
Yeah.
There was if you came out of the Lincoln Tunnel,
right,
and you stayed to the right and you went up a hill, there was a little hot dog stand next to a park.
Okay, so yeah, if this is what I'm thinking of, this is in Washington Park in Union City. There's a hot dog stand, and
they only serve orangeade. They don't sell no soda.
Yep. So I'm pretty positive it's one of the top hot dog places in the Heights, and it's just
that serves in the Heights.
Yeah, it's on the border of Union City and Jersey City, if I'm not mistaken, right by First Street Park. Yeah, he's still there, man. His dad owned it. Sadly, I'm going to tell you a story. I didn't. It's funny you say it now. It's sad. The father who originally owned it, who you would know from going to that hot dog stand, and the mom just recently passed away from coronavirus. But the son was running it, so the son runs it, and he actually just posted about it on Facebook. I saw that he such a sad story, but he's coming back in a few weeks to start his hot dog stand. So it's still there. If it's the same one we're talking about on the border of Jersey City, Union City, yeah, great hot dogs.
We used to leave Bafano's and go straight up the street, and we get up to the end of I don't know if it was Beacon or Oakland. It was make a left, then the first right, and take it straight up to the park, and boom, it was right there on the corner. Only one person inside.
Yeah.
And you get the hot dog, and they only served orange drink. That was it. No sodas. No, I remember. Listen, I hate hot dogs, but those hot dogs are unbelievable.
I agree.
When you get the chili on it, oh my God.
That's great. I love how this went from boxing to hot dogs. That's perfect.
And then there was a restaurant in Jersey City. It was on the border of Jersey City and Bayonne.
Okay.
It's called Just Sonny's.
I don't know that. Okay. I don't know that place.
Yeah, it was Italian. It was on off of Fulton Street.
Okay.
You take Kennedy Boulevard to Fulton, make a right, go down the hill.
Right.
Boom. It's called Just Sonny's. He was a good friend of ours. The Italian food there was
incredible.
Okay, now I got one place that I'm gonna let you go.
All right.
Piccolo's cheesesteak.
Oh, sure, man. That's down in Hoboken, right?
Yes.
Yeah, incredible. Yeah, without a doubt, man. Piccolo's
If
is
you go,
great.
if you go to Piccolo's, ever go there again, my picture's in there.
Is it really? No way. All right, cool.
Oh, they were good friends of Al, man. Piccolo's.
That's cool.
I was
See, I
skinny.
love it. I love that you appreciate the Jersey City like boxing history and food. Incredible. And one
Oh, yeah.
more thing before we like hang up here, I actually hang up. What I'm saying, hang up like it's a phone. But we met once, man. This is funny. You'll never. Obviously, you're not gonna remember this, but it's a funny story. I tell this story a lot. I don't know what year. Maybe around 1994, 95. You were at Mill Creek Mall, right? And you were coming out of Secaucus. You know the mall in Secaucus that was there?
Oh, yeah.
You're coming out and I'm going in. I was with my wife at the time. And you know how when you see a famous person, but you think you know them personally? Like you think they're your friend? So
Yeah.
it was that. You came out, I'm like, hey, how's it going? Thinking like you're my friend or something. And then like, I'm like, wait, where do I know this person from? And I think you had a cowboy hat on, if I'm not mistaken. That could be wrong.
It wasn't a cowboy hat, it was a Humberg.
Okay, so and then I felt so stupid, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Like I'm like, it's a pleasure, and you were so nice to me. Like I look like an idiot, but I got to tell you, you were so nice to me at the time. And I left that going, you know what? He looks like a nice person, on TV and interviews, and you were a nice person to me. So thank you.
My pleasure, man. Thank you.
All right, it's a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much. All right.
Right, and if you ever go to the hot dog truck, so look, there's a guy named Buddy McGirt that still remember the hot dogs.
I'm gonna let him know that. All right. Thank you.
All right, you got it.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Jersey City boxing fan.